All right, tricky trees. Gather round, because what I'm about to tell you is going to shake everything you thought you knew about this season. Right now, as we speak, Nottingham Forest Football Club is standing at the edge of a cliff, and the ground beneath our feet is crumbling fast. This isn't just another rough patch. This is a full-blown crisis that's testing every single ounce of belief we have in this badge. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. I'm here to give you the truth. The raw, unfiltered reality of what's happening at the city ground. And trust me, after you hear what I've got lined up, you'll understand why this week has been one of the most dramatic, controversial, and absolutely mental periods in recent Forest history. We've got our new gaffer facing his first bitter taste of defeat in the Premier League, and the words coming out of his mouth? Brutal, honest, uncomfortable. He's not holding back, and neither should we. Then there's the midfielder who's become the hottest property in world football. Yeah, you heard that right, world football. With clubs that have more money than sense circling like vultures. We're talking about a lad who could make this club a fortune. But do we really want to lose him? And speaking of losses, one bloke had to cancel a community event, something close to his heart, all because of the job he just took on. The pressure's real, the stakes are massive, and he's already making sacrifices. Then we've got the absolute circus surrounding another one of our boys. Real Madrid, Manchester City, Chelsea, Manchester United. All of them want a piece of him. The price tag? Eye-watering. The question? Can we possibly keep him? But it's not all doom and gloom. There's a glimmer of hope returning from injury. A player we desperately need, someone who's been out for months after serious surgery, might finally be coming back. Could he be the missing piece to turn this nightmare around? Before I reveal a single name, before I tell you who said what, where, and why, I need you to do something for me. Hit that like button right now. Show me you're ready for this. Then drop a comment. Tell me honestly, do you think Sean Dyche is the right man to save Nottingham Forest from relegation? Because after what happened this weekend, that question is louder than ever. Now, let's dive into the first revelation. And I promise you, it's going to hit harder than you expect. Parte 2. Noticia. Number 1. Sean Dyche's Bournemouth defeat reality check. 4,500 caracteres. He walked into the city ground with a reputation. A man who knows relegation battles inside out. A manager who's built his entire career on grit, organization, and getting results when it matters most. But this weekend, reality came crashing down like a ton of bricks. I'm talking about Sean Dyche, and his first Premier League match in charge of Nottingham Forest ended in absolute disaster. Sunday, October 26, 2025. Bournemouth away. The Tricky Trees were desperate for points, desperate for hope, desperate for anything resembling a positive performance. What did we get instead? A humiliating 2-0 defeat that left us sitting 18th in the Premier League table, firmly in the relegation zone. Let that sink in. The team that finished 7th last season is now fighting for survival. But here's where it gets really interesting and uncomfortable. After the match, Dyche didn't hide behind excuses. He didn't blame bad luck or dodgy refereeing decisions. No, he went straight for the jugular. His own players. In his post-match interview, the gaffer admitted his squad lacks fitness and physicality. He said the first-half performance was nowhere near good enough and that his team simply couldn't match Bournemouth's intensity. Think about that for a second. This is a manager who's only been in the job for 5 days, and he's already publicly calling out his players for not being fit enough. That takes serious guts. Or maybe it's just desperation talking. Either way, it's a massive statement. Dyche knows he doesn't have time to be diplomatic. He's inherited a squad that's won just one match since August 17th. A shocking 10-game winless run that's left everyone at the club reeling. And tactically, Well, let's just say Dyche's preferred 4-4-2 system looked completely overrun in midfield. Bournemouth bossed the game, controlled possession, and made Forest look like strangers to each other. The new manager tried to implement his no-nonsense, direct style of play, but without the fitness levels and defensive solidity he demands, it all fell apart. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Sean Dyche is Forest's third manager this season. Third. Ange Postecoglou lasted just 39 days before getting the sack. Nuno Espirito Santo was shown the door after a disastrous start, and now Dyche is walking into the same burning building, armed with nothing but his reputation and a 2.5-year contract that suddenly feels like a lifetime. The fans are divided. Some believe Dyche's experience in relegation scraps, keeping Burnley up season after season, makes him the perfect man for the job. Others think appointing a manager known for defensive, percentage football is the exact opposite of what Forest should be doing. We're a club with history, with flair, with attacking DNA. And now we're parking buses and hoofing it long? But here's the reality check we all need to face. Results don't lie. And right now, Nottingham Forest are in freefall. The defeat to Bournemouth extended our goalless streak to 448 minutes in the Premier League, our longest drought since 1994. We haven't scored from open play in the league since late September. The creativity's gone, the confidence is shot, and the pressure? It's suffocating. Dyche knows it too. He admitted after the match that his team needs to be much fitter, much stronger, much more aggressive. Those are damning words when you consider this is a squad that competed for European football just months ago. What the hell happened? So here's my question for you. Do you trust Sean Dyche to fix this mess? Or have we just appointed another manager who's going to fail because the problems run deeper than tactics and training sessions? Drop your answer in the comments right now. I want to hear every single opinion, because this debate is tearing the fan base apart. But hold on, because if you think that story was rough, wait until you hear what's happening with one of our brightest stars. The vultures are circling, and the price tag is absolutely insane. Parte 3, Notizia, number 5. Elliot Anderson emerges as Manchester United target, 4,000 to 4,500 caracteres. There's a young lad at Nottingham Forest who's been turning heads, catching eyes, making the big boys sit up and take serious notice. And when I say big boys, I'm not talking about mid-table clubs hoping to snag a bargain. I'm talking about the elite, the giants, the clubs that win trophies and pay wages most of us can't even comprehend. I'm talking about Elliot Anderson. And right now, Manchester United, Manchester City, and Chelsea are all preparing to go to war over him. Let me paint you the picture. Anderson is 22 years old. He's an England international. He's got technical ability, vision, work rate, and the kind of football intelligence that makes managers salivate. Forest signed him from Newcastle United just over a year ago for $35 million, a club record fee at the time. And already, his value has more than doubled. We're talking about a potential $75 million transfer, maybe even more if a bidding war erupts. Manchester United are leading the charge. According to reports that dropped just days ago, they see Anderson as the perfect solution to their midfield problems. They're desperate for someone who can dictate tempo, carry the ball forward, and provide that connection between defense and attack. Anderson ticks every single box. And with their new manager Ruben Amorim demanding a complete squad overhaul, United are ready to spend big and spend fast. But they're not alone. Manchester City have been watching Anderson closely too. Pep Guardiola loves technical midfielders who can play in tight spaces, and Anderson fits that profile perfectly. Then there's Chelsea, who seem to be linked with every talented player on the planet these days. They've got money to burn, and a squad that's still trying to find its identity under their current manager. Anderson could be the missing piece. Here's where it gets even crazier. Real Madrid are supposedly keeping tabs on him as well. Real Madrid, the biggest club in world football, is monitoring a Nottingham Forest midfielder. Think about what that says. Anderson isn't just a promising talent. He's being seen as a potential world-class operator in the making. And honestly, you can see why. Since joining Forest, Anderson has been one of the few bright spots in an otherwise miserable season. His passing range is exceptional. His ability to break lines with one clever ball is something this team desperately needs. And defensively, he's not afraid to put in a shift. He covers ground, he presses intelligently, and he rarely gives the ball away cheaply. But here's the dilemma that's keeping Forest's board up at night. Can we afford to keep him? Not financially. Obviously, we can't compete with the wages United, City, or Chelsea would offer. I'm talking about whether we can justify holding on to a player of that caliber when we're in a relegation battle. If $75 million comes knocking in January, do you take it? Do you cash in, reinvest in 3 or 4 players, and hope that spreads the quality across the squad? Or do you dig your heels in, tell the vultures to do one, and fight like hell to keep your best player? It's a nightmare scenario for Sean Dyche. He's just walked in the door, and already he's facing the prospect of losing one of his most talented players. Imagine trying to build a team, implement a system, and drag this club out of trouble, only to have your midfield maestro ripped away mid-season. It's brutal, it's unfair, but it's the reality of modern football. And let's not forget, Anderson himself will have a say in this. He's an ambitious lad. He'll be watching Forest's form, watching the league table, and asking himself a very simple question. Do I want to spend the next 6 months fighting relegation, or do I want to be playing Champions League football and competing for trophies? It's harsh, but can you blame him if he decides to leave? The fans are conflicted. Some want to keep him at all costs, build the team around him, make him the captain, show him he's valued. Others think $75 million is too much to turn down, especially when we're desperate for squad depth and quality across multiple positions. What would you do? Here's my question for you. If Manchester United offers $75 million in January, do you sell Elliot Anderson? Or do you tell them to get lost and fight to keep him no matter what? Comment below. I need to know where you stand on this one. But don't go anywhere, because the next story is about sacrifice, community, and the personal cost of taking on one of the toughest jobs in football right now. Parte 4. Noticia. Chart 20. Dyche cancels. Community event. Due to Forest job. 4,500 caracteres. Football management isn't just about tactics, training sessions, and team talks. It's about sacrifice. It's about giving up pieces of your personal life, your commitments, your plans, all for the sake of the job. And this next story perfectly captures just how much pressure and responsibility comes with being Nottingham Forest manager right now. We're talking about Sean Dyche again, but this time, it's not about what happened on the pitch. This is about what he had to give up off it. Just days after being appointed Forest's new head coach, Dyche was forced to pull out of being guest of honor at a community center opening. This wasn't some random event he'd been vaguely invited to. This was something close to his heart. A local initiative he'd agreed to support. A chance to give back to the community and be part of something positive. But the moment he accepted the Forest job, everything changed. The timing was brutal. Dyche had already committed to the event. People were expecting him. And suddenly he had to make the call. Cancel and disappoint everyone. Or try to juggle both and risk not giving Forest the full attention they desperately need. He chose the job. He chose the club. He chose to prioritize the massive, overwhelming task of keeping Nottingham Forest in the Premier League. And honestly, that tells you everything about the scale of the challenge he's facing. Dyche didn't just walk into a normal managerial role. He walked into a full-blown crisis. A team in the relegation zone. A squad lacking confidence and fitness. A fan base divided and desperate for answers. and a boardroom that's already sacked 2 managers this season, meaning one wrong move could see him gone just as quickly. So yeah, the community event had to go. The organizers had to find a replacement guest of honor, and Deitch had to live with the knowledge that he'd let people down before he'd even taken charge of his first training session. That's the reality of football management at this level. It's relentless, it's unforgiving, and it demands everything you've got. But here's what makes this story even more significant. It shows Deitch's mindset. He's not treating this job like a stopgap or a stepping stone. He's all in. From day one, he's made it clear that Nottingham Forest is his sole focus, and everything else, no matter how important, has to take a back seat. That's the kind of commitment you need when you're trying to save a club from relegation. And let's be honest, Forest fans should appreciate that. We've had managers in the past who seemed distracted, disinterested, or just going through the motions. Deitch is the opposite. He's a grafter. He's someone who'll work 16-hour days, study every detail, and demand the same intensity from his players. If we're going to get out of this mess, we need that kind of mentality. But it's not without cost. Deitch is 54 years old. He's been in football management for over a decade. He's seen the highs and the crushing lows, and now he's taken on a job that could define or destroy his reputation. If he keeps Forest up, he's a hero. If he fails, he's just another name on the managerial merry-go-round. The pressure is immense. Every decision he makes will be scrutinized. Every result will be dissected. Every post-match interview will be analyzed for signs of doubt or weakness. And through it all, he's got to maintain his focus, keep his players believing, and somehow drag this team away from danger. So when you hear that Deitch had to cancel a community event because of the Forest job, don't just see it as a scheduling conflict. See it as a symbol of what this role demands. See it as proof that he's taking this seriously. See it as evidence that he's willing to make personal sacrifices to give this club the best possible chance of survival. Now here's the question I want you to answer. Do you respect Deitch for prioritizing the Forest job above everything else? Or do you think managers should still make time for community commitments no matter what? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts on this one. But we're not done yet. Because the next story is about money, ambition, and a transfer race that's getting absolutely out of control. Party 5, Noticia, your sign team, Real Madrid and Man City. Join Anderson race, 4,500 characteres. If you thought the Manchester United interest in Elliot Anderson was big news, buckle up. Because what I'm about to tell you takes this transfer saga to an entirely different level. We're not just talking about Premier League clubs anymore. We're talking about European royalty. We're talking about the kind of clubs that win Champions League titles and sign Ballon d'Or winners. I'm talking about Elliot Anderson again. And this time, Real Madrid and Manchester City have officially entered the race. Let me break this down for you because the numbers are absolutely staggering. Anderson joined Nottingham Forest from Newcastle United for $35 million just over a year ago. At the time, it was a club record signing, and there were plenty of people who questioned whether he was worth that kind of money. Fast forward to now, and his value has skyrocketed to $75 million, maybe even higher if a bidding war kicks off. That's more than double what Forest paid. In one season. That's insane. But here's what makes this story even more incredible. Real Madrid don't chase players lightly. When they show interest in someone, it means they see genuine world-class potential. And according to reports that surfaced over the weekend, Madrid's scouting department has been watching Anderson closely. They've been impressed by his technical ability, his composure on the ball, and his football intelligence. And now they're considering making a move. Think about what that means. Real Madrid, the club of Cristiano Ronaldo, Zinedine Zidane, Luka Modric, the club with 15 European Cups, the club that signs the best players on the planet. and they're looking at a Nottingham Forest midfielder. That's not just a compliment. That's a statement about how highly rated Anderson is in the game right now. Manchester City are in the mix too. Pep Guardiola has always loved technical midfielders who can play in tight spaces, and Anderson fits that profile perfectly. City's current midfield is aging. Kevin De Bruyne is 34, Bernardo Silva is 31, and they need fresh blood. Anderson could be that player. Young, hungry, tactically intelligent, and capable of playing multiple positions. Everything Guardiola looks for. And then there's Chelsea, who've been linked with Anderson for weeks now. They've got the money, they've got the ambition, and they've got a squad that's still trying to find its identity. Anderson could be the missing piece. A midfielder who can dictate games, create chances, and provide that link between defense and attack. Todd Bowley loves a big-name signing, and Anderson is fast becoming exactly that. So here's the nightmare scenario for Nottingham Forest. 4 of the biggest clubs in world football are all circling the same player: Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, and Real Madrid. Any one of them could blow Forest out of the water with wages and ambition. And if they all start bidding against each other, the price could go through the roof. We could be looking at 80 million, 90 million, maybe even 100 million if this gets messy. Now, from a purely financial perspective, that's incredible business for Forest. Buying a player for $35 million and selling him for 3 times that amount a year later? That's the kind of profit that can transform a club. You could reinvest that money across the squad, sign 3 or 4 quality players, and build something sustainable. But here's the problem. You're also selling your best player. You're ripping the heart out of your midfield. And you're sending a message to the rest of the squad that says, if you're good enough, someone bigger will come and take you. And let's not forget the timing. We're in a relegation battle. We're desperate for quality, for creativity, for players who can make a difference. Losing Anderson in January would be catastrophic. It would destroy morale, weaken the team, and probably seal our fate. So even if $90 million lands on the table, can we afford to say yes? But here's the brutal truth. Anderson might not give us a choice. If Real Madrid come calling, if they offer him Champions League football, massive wages, and the chance to play for the biggest club in the world, do you really think he's going to say no? He's 22 years old. He's ambitious. He's got his whole career ahead of him. And right now, Nottingham Forest are 18th in the Premier League, fighting for survival. So here's my question for you. If Real Madrid offer 90 million in January, and Anderson wants to go, do you let him leave? Or do you force him to stay and fight for Forest's Premier League survival? Drop your answer in the comments. This is the biggest question facing the club right now. But hold on, because there's one last story, and it's about hope. It's about a player returning from injury. It's about the possibility, just maybe, that things might start turning around. Parte 6, Noticia, your 12. Nicolas Dominguez, nearing return from knee surgery, 4,500 caracteres. All right, tricky trees. We've talked about defeats, transfer sagas, sacrifices, and the absolute chaos surrounding this club right now. But I want to end on something different. Something that gives us a reason, just a small reason, to believe that maybe, things could start turning around. I'm talking about Nicolas Dominguez, and after 4 months out injured, he's finally nearing a return. Let me take you back to May 30th, 2025. Dominguez, one of Forest's most important midfielders, suffered a serious meniscus injury in his left leg. It required surgery. And the initial prognosis? At least 4 months on the sidelines. That meant missing the start of the season, missing the Europa League campaign, and watching from the stands as the team collapsed into crisis. For a player who'd been so integral to Forest's midfield, someone who brought energy, creativity, and defensive discipline, it was a devastating blow. And for the team, it left a massive hole that's never really been filled. We've tried different combinations, different formations, different players. But nothing has worked. The balance has been off. The cohesion has been missing. And the results have been disastrous. But now, finally, there's light at the end of the tunnel. According to the latest injury reports, Dominguez has been added to Forest's Europa League squad. That's a huge sign. You don't register a player unless they're close to being available. And if he's fit enough for Europa League action, it won't be long before he's back in contention for Premier League matches too. So what does Dominguez bring that Forest have been missing so badly? Let's start with his work rate. He's the kind of midfielder who covers every blade of grass, who hunts down loose balls, who never stops running. Sean Dyche loves that type of player. In fact, it's exactly the kind of intensity and physicality Dyche has been demanding from his squad. Dominguez embodies those qualities. But he's not just a workhorse. He's technically gifted too. His passing range is excellent. He can pick out a forward pass, switch the play, and recycle possession intelligently. He's comfortable on the ball under pressure, and he rarely gives it away cheaply. In a team that's struggling to create chances and control games, those attributes are absolutely vital. Defensively, Dominguez is solid as well. He reads the game well, positions himself intelligently, and isn't afraid to put in a tackle when needed. He's the kind of midfielder who can protect the back four, break up opposition attacks, and then start counterattacks with quick, incisive passing. That's invaluable when you're fighting relegation and need to be organized, disciplined, and defensively sound. Now let's be realistic here. Dominguez isn't going to single-handedly save Nottingham Forest. He's not a miracle worker. And after 4 months out, he'll need time to regain match fitness and sharpness. But his return adds depth, quality, and experience to a midfield that's been desperately lacking all three. And in a relegation battle, those small margins can make all the difference. Imagine a midfield partnership of Dominguez and Elliot Anderson. If Anderson is still here, that is. That's a combination with balance. Anderson's creativity and technical ability, paired with Dominguez's industry and defensive awareness. It's the kind of partnership that could stabilize this team, give Sean Dyche a platform to build from, and start turning results around. But timing is everything. If Dominguez returns in the next week or two, there's still time for him to make an impact before the January transfer window opens. There's still time for him to help drag Forest out of the relegation zone. But if his return drags on, if he's not back until late November or December, the damage might already be done. So here's the big question. Can Nicolas Dominguez's return be the turning point this season? Can he provide the spark, the stability, the quality that Forest so desperately need? Or is it too little, too late? Let me know what you think in the comments. I want to hear whether you believe Dominguez can make a real difference, or whether this team's problems run too deep for one returning player to fix. 5 moments that define where Nottingham Forest are right now. Defeats, transfer battles, personal sacrifices, mega money bids, and a glimmer of hope returning from injury. But here's the thing. This is just the beginning. This season is going to be a roller coaster, and every single week is going to bring new drama, new questions, and new challenges. The only way to stay on top of it all is to stick with me. So do me 3 favors right now. First, smash that like button. Second, drop a comment and tell me, what's the biggest issue facing Nottingham Forest? The manager, the players, or the board? And third, hit subscribe, because I'm going to be bringing you every twist, every turn, and every explosive story as this season unfolds. And one final question to leave you with. If you were in charge of Nottingham Forest right now, what would be your first decision? Sell Anderson and rebuild? Back Dyche no matter what? Or sack everyone and start from scratch? Let me know, because this conversation is just getting started.